Warriors versus the Hampton Crabbers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's contest between the undefeated Kecoughtan Warriors with a 7-0 record and the Hampton Crabbers with a 5-2 record. And Bob, it's been a long time since this game has been such that Kecoughtan is the favorite coming into this game, if you believe in placing favorites or the underdog, if you will. But here's Kecoughtan, 7-0, undefeated.
Well, and that's the reason that they probably are getting top billing, but they've got three tough games. They got Hampton, Phoebus, and Woodside, so they really got the meat of the peninsula that they've got to go through. 7-0, tremendous change from last year when they came in here 1-6 at this part of the season. And Tommy Austin and his crew over there has done just a tremendous job, and they've really got the guys believing in themselves and doing a lot of things. And, of course, it doesn't hurt to have a little continuity. He's got some good coaches that he can really rely on. He's got Chris Moran over there. You know Chris. He played at Bethel, but you knew him from when he played baseball with your son. So, and he's got Dan Thompson, who I think is one of the better defensive coaches on the peninsula. So that helps Tommy a lot when you got that kind of support.
Well, we had Kecoughtan last week when they played the Bethel Bruins. We talked about their offense and their defense, and, of course, if you're going to be at the top of the district, you have to be a leader in offense and defense. Last week's effort moved Kecoughtan from number 3 on total defense to number 1 in the Peninsula District. Now, you talk about Phoebus, you talk about Hampton. Whenever you hear these two schools' names, you think about defense. You don't think about Kecoughtan when you hear defense being number 1, but that's what happened. They're number 1 in the defense statistics in the Peninsula District.
Well, you haven't heard that since Kurt Newsom was over there at Kecoughtan, and hats off to Tom and his staff. Just done a tremendous job. But, you have to look at them offensively, too. They've got a tremendous running back in Alan Backus, and I know you've got some stuff on him. But like Mike Smith says, you can't gear your defense to stop just one man. You've got to stop the team. You've got to make them be in second and third and long, Tim. And if you do that, then that puts the pressure on Matt Cross at quarterback. And you're passing with the wind that we have tonight. Now, we haven't talked too much, you and I have, but I talked with the coaches about the wind. And it's going to be a factor tonight.
Well, absolutely. It's kind of a raw night here at Darling Stadium. Temperature's going to be in the upper 50s. It's going to be windy. It's going to be kind of a gusty type of night. It's a great night for football players to play because it's going to be cool and they're going to be able to stay refreshed without perspiring too much. But, you talk about the offense for Kecoughtan. They're number 5 on the Peninsula District in offense, so they're doing a real good job there. And they're not just one-dimensional because they have had some good play from Matt Cross, but Alan Backus is their offense. 176 yards per game this young man has run so far this year.
It's amazing. And you look at the young man and what he's done, but then you have to take a step closer and look why he's done that, and you have to look at that offensive line from center to the tight end. Those 6 players, that's tremendous when you have that kind of luck, or not luck, I'm sorry, that type of control at the line of scrimmage. And Alan Backus realized that, and he's taking his offensive line out to eat, and that's saying a little something about what he believes, why he is as good as he is, not because he runs the ball, but because they're opening up the holes.
Well, and you're absolutely right. You have to have the offensive blocking. You have to have the balanced game, which they've got, and you've got to have that before Alan Backus can be as successful. If all they were was a one-dimensional team, I guarantee you, as good as Backus is, and he's the top of the cream of the crop right now, without an offensive line, he wouldn't get it done.
Well, that's true. And talk about the offensive line. You got Gaddis at center. The guards are Corey C. Davis and Julius McCormick. The tackles are Mike Gaddis and Corey D. Davis. And then you have Ed Ross, who's been around a while at the tight end position. So these are the young men that are opening up the hole and allowing Backus to get into the secondary before before he can have to make a decision, because he's making it through the front line, so to speak. And if you saw a shadow, that was not the blimp.
That was Mike, third time he's done it. That was the eclipse.
Yeah, every time he stands up, we lose ourselves, but that's all right. Mike is here. Bob Killen decided he's going to go see another game tonight, but we got Mike Hauser doing our stats for us.
Right now, let's go back in time. We had a chance to talk to head coach Tommy Austin of the Kecoughtan Warriors. Be right back.
Well, first of all, Coach, congratulations, 7-0 start. I know you got to be real tickled about that.
Yes, we are real proud of what we've accomplished so far, and it's like we tell the kids, 7-0 doesn't mean anything unless you go 8-0, and we got our work cut out for us against this team tonight. So.
Well, I know, temperature-wise, a great night, but you do have some wind. Won't affect the passing too much, a little bit, but kicking game.
Yeah, there's going to be play a big factor in the kicking game, and obviously field position, and whether you need 3 or not, and punting the football. It's going to play a big role, and there's liable to be some mistakes in the kicking game because of it. We got to be real careful.
What do you expect from Hampton tonight? You and I had talked before. They're not going to do a whole lot of changes.
No, I don't really expect them to change anything for us. I mean, if they change anything, it's going to be, something they want to do. But, Mike's been here 37 years, and they haven't changed a whole lot. And, as far as changing with the times they have, but he's still going to play tough defense. And I think they're throwing the ball a little bit more this year than they have in the past. But, he's going to do whatever he has to do to win. And, we all do that. But I think, they have been throwing the ball a little more simply because they can. And, I don't think the wind's going to play a real big factor in that. But we expect them to come out and get after us, and we're going to try to do the same thing back.
Okay, well, listen, one more question. I know that coming into the district, this is really only your second year in the district. If you were to take the district and look at the rest of the state, how do you stack the Peninsula District?
Well, I mean, I think, one of the reasons that I took this job is because I thought the Peninsula District was the best district in AAA football. Now, that's not to take anything away from the Southeastern District or the Beach District or anywhere else. But, this is the district you hear the most about. You hear about Western Branch and Deep Creek, and you hear about a few other teams over on that side, and I'm from that side of the water. And you hear about a few teams down at the beach, but over here you're constantly hearing about, Hampton and Heritage and Warwick and Phoebus, and all of those teams year in and year out are right up there near the top. And I think, that this has got to be, if not the toughest district, it sure is. It don't take long to call a roll in that class.
Well, and we put Kecoughtan in that group.
Well, I hope so. That's what we're trying for. We want to be where these guys are. And I know it takes 30-some years to get there, but, we're going to try to stick with it and do the best we can.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach.
Thanks. I appreciate it very much.
All right, let's run back up to Tim.
All right, thank you. Tommy Austin is an exciting coach. He's really into the game. You can see from the way he talks and the way he acts. His young men are picking that up, and that's what they're playing with: enthusiasm, passion, and a love for the game.
Yeah, and you could tell that not only when you talk to him, but to watch his practices and watch the kids. They're wanting to learn, and they're really excited about the season that they're having.
They should be. Well, talk about excited. Hampton, a lot of news this week. Head coach Mike Smith announces his retirement. Are the Hampton Crabbers going to go quietly into the night, or are they going to go out with a bang? I would think this will be great motivation for these young men. 5-2, they've got a great season going, but they're on a 2-game losing streak. They don't want to make it 3, so they're going to have their hands full, and Kecoughtan's going to have their hands full too. You've got 2 running backs for this Hampton team, Fenner and Schuler, who are going to make it tough. Hampton, number 2 on offense, number 4 on defense, so they're no slouches on the team department either.
No, they aren't. And, Tim, I don't know the last time that the Crabbers lost 3 games in a row, let alone 3 games in a season. And, we look at Mike Smith and what he's accomplished, and he will tell you right flat off that you got to look at Danny Mitchell and Alvis Mann.
And we'll come back and we'll talk more about that. Right now we're going to go back in time one more time as Bob had a chance to talk to head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, Mike, first of all, weather, temperature-wise, good. Wind, is it going to affect the passing? I know it can affect the kicking game.
Well, I think the wind usually has more effect on the passing game than the rain, so maybe it'll die down a little bit in a minute, but it's pretty strong out here right now.
How's the team? Any nicks and bumps and bruises? Everybody healthy?
Yeah, we're bruised up a little bit, but I think otherwise we're in pretty good shape.
What do you expect from Kecoughtan?
Well, they've been playing very well. I say, I think they're 7-0 right now.
Yeah.
They've got a very good football team, well-coached football team, playing solid offensively and defensively. So.
When you look at what Kecoughtan is doing with the young man who has run over 1,000 yards, Alan Backus, if you can stop him, do you think you put pressure on them, make him come into a 3rd and long situation?
Well, I don't think you play anyone just try to stop one guy. Obviously, he's had some pretty good blocking and selection of things. They move the ball around. He's an excellent back, and they supplement him with pass and with the fullback back off some counters and a few dives. So he's a very good back. There's one thing for sure, you got to try to contain him, because if you don't, he'll take you apart.
You kind of threw a bombshell on us Wednesday, and I tell you from my heart, we're going to miss you because you set quite a standard here on the peninsula.
Well, I don't know if it was a standard of one or just one of longevity. I've been here for a long time, and it's been quite a ride.
Well, we've enjoyed having you, Mike.
Thank you, Bob.
Good enough. Well, let's go back up to Tim and tonight's starting lineups.
Tonight's contest brought to you by Zoom's, your friendly neighborhood store with 14 convenient locations. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. Call them at 838-5450. And by Pearls, located at 15 North Mallory Street in Phoebus, 722-1907. And a game brought to you in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, 825-1416, 850-5564. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, located at Hampton Center Parkway at Armstead Avenue. Call them at 827-4670.
That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, coming after me.
On the field, and we will have the pregame ceremony in just a moment. Hampton's homecoming tonight. This is
it's on.
The 8th game of the season for the Crabbers. As I mentioned, they've dropped 2 in a row. They lost to Phoebus, and they lost to Woodside. And you know that the pride of the Hampton Crabbers will be standing up tall tonight to see if they can stop this losing streak. They're just not used to losing. Let's go down to the center of the field, listen in on the toss of the coin ceremony.
Come on in and meet the Hampton Crabbers. Gentlemen, looking for a Super Bowl game tonight. I want good sportsmanship both sides of the ball, okay? Play hard. Let the officials do our job, all right? You got a problem, you bring it to me. All right, now we had a preliminary coin toss. Now Hampton won the coin toss, the Crabbers did, and then deferred to the second half, okay? Deferred. That meant the Kecoughtan Warriors had their choice. They took the ball. Hampton, if you'll get up here, you're going to defend that goal. Come on down here, Warriors, all right? Crabbers are going to kick. And the Warriors are going to receive. Here we go. Ready to start football. Give us a handshake, gentlemen.
I believe Hampton deferred.
For the pregame ceremony and our opportunity to listen in. The officials for tonight's contest, as you see them in the middle of your screen. Referee is Mick McCullough. Dan Klemensick is your umpire. The linesman is Alan Denton. The line judge is Jim Mayhew. The field judge is John Patrick, and Tom Chisman is the back judge.
And, of course, you know Alan Denton is Buddy Denton's son. Those of you who are familiar with baseball on the peninsula remember him.
Right now we're going to show you the starters for the Warriors on offense.
Andrew Gaddis, senior.
Corey Davis, senior.
Julius McCormick, senior.
Mike Gaddis, sophomore.
Corey Davis, senior.
Ed Ross, senior.
Darnell Harrison, senior.
Dante Edwards, senior.
Matt Cross, senior.
Jeremy Reese, senior.
Alan Backus, senior.
And there you have the Kecoughtan Warriors on offense. They will receive the ball to start tonight's contest. Back deep to receive the kickoff will be Darnell Harrison, standing inside his 5-yard line.
Well, they got the wind behind them, Tim, and you and I talked about it. It's got to be gusting 15 to 20 mile an hour, and the little flags on top of the goalposts are standing right straight out.
And they're going to kick from the tee because the ball will not stay on the tee. That's how swirling the wind is, as Corey Johnson puts a foot to it, and it's deep, and it's in the end zone. It cannot be returned, even though Harrison would like to return it. In high school football, you cannot. 4 12-minute quarters in high school football. And here are the Crabbers, starters on defense.
Edward Small, senior.
Dominic White, sophomore. Travar Broughton, junior.
Johnny Pugh, senior.
Andre Schuler, junior.
Derek Fairley, junior. Daryl Finna, senior. Bobby Nwuka, senior.
Claysell Brown, senior.
Anthony Williams, senior.
Will Jennings, senior.
And the Crabbers starters on defense. Matt Cross is your quarterback for the Warriors. Split backfield with Backus and Reese. This is Backus getting the handoff, and he bursts across the 30 to the 32-yard line. A gain of 12 on the very first play from scrimmage.
And that was just a simple handoff going over the right side and getting some nice blocking at the point of contact.
Hampton's defense ranks number 4 on the peninsula. 203 yards per game total defense, as you see Backus carrying the ball and tacklers. And the Crabbers just allowing 11 points per game.
Well, the linebacker took himself out of position on that play.
1st and 10. This is Backus again as he tries the right side. This time he is stopped for a shorter gain as Claysell Brown, number 7, comes up to make the stop. But it's still a pickup of about 5 yards.
Same play, but that time the hole was plugged up, made him kick it outside, and didn't pick up about half of the yardage that he picked up the first time.
And you saw Claysell Brown did not get blocked on that occasion and allowed him to make the play, but a 5-yard gain, almost 6.
Well, Claysell Brown's coming up, is the defensive back on that side.
They'll switch around this time as they give to number 23, Wilson Banks, the former Crabber, and he gets the first down out to the 45-yard line. So Kecoughtan, as they have all year, running the ball and picking up good yardage and a first down.
Well, now Banks is more of a power runner, and Alan Backus is more of a slasher. As you watch this, he lowers his head and just tries to pick extra yardage, and does. Actually picked up about 3 yards after he made his first contact.
First down at the Kecoughtan 45-yard line. Wishbone offense. And the first man through is Jeremy Reese, and he gets the handoff, and he picks up yardage out to the 49, almost midfield. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Warriors.
It's just a straight handoff, Tim. Nothing fancy. Just we're going to try to control the line of scrimmage, and right now the Warriors' offensive line is doing that. But you and I have seen people move the ball up and down the field and then get down inside the red zone and stall against the Crabber defense.
2nd down and 6 for the Warriors. Backus cuts across against the grain and picks up the first down, and this time all the way to the 43-yard line of the Crabbers.
Well, that time he did something he doesn't do very often, but he just lowered his shoulder and drove the tackler. Watch as he drives the tackler back a yard or 2 right there. Yep. Actually about 3 yards.
Picked up 8 on the play, so it's a first down again at the Hampton 43-yard line. Nothing fancy, no play action, just running the ball down the Hampton Crabbers' throats right now.
Well, Backus is 6'1", 190.
They can't do that. They can't do that.
Started to see the flag come out, and referee McCullough stopped from doing so. There was a motion on the defensive side of the line as if they were coming into the neutral zone. They didn't do so.
So it's not a penalty.
It wasn't a penalty, but it was close. But you can't even do that. You can't cause the offense to react to you. You've seen that call a lot of times, but they didn't call it. And a gain of 5 again. So the Warriors just driving the ball down the field.
And they're doing this better than they did against the Bruins last week.
227 yards per game on the ground, and finally the Crabbers get a stop. This one is Wilson Banks as he picks up a couple of yards. But for the first time in this first quarter, the Warriors will be looking at a 3rd down. There you see the drive into the middle. Even with that, he picked up a couple of yards.
Yeah, but this is 3rd and 4. First time they've seen that today. But, they're not going to punt it or field goal with the wind in their face.
Well, it's 3rd down.
Even if they got to go to 4th, they won't.
Backus, and he gets the first down. No need to worry when you have Alan Backus in your backfield. He averages 7.3 yards every time he touches the football. He has 17 touchdowns. Here you see from the ground level, you're going to see Backus as he gets the first down. In on the stop, amongst others, was Will Jennings, number 1 for the Crabbers. But not until the first down is picked up at the 33-yard line.
And Jennings coming up from his safety position, so you got your defensive backs and safeties making the tackle. You're going to be picking up a lot of yardage.
Banks with a flag down, first penalty of the ball game as the ball is marked just inside the Hampton 30. But let's see what the penalty call is.
Yeah, that's exactly what you expected. The preliminary signal holding against the Warriors.
See if you can pick it up. I doubt if we'd be able to in the interior part of that line, but in any event, a holding penalty is going to be assessed from the spot of the foul. And it'll move it back out to the 44-yard line.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down, still first down and 20.
So it turns out to be first down and 21, actually, because an 11-yard penalty, since it's a spot foul, it occurred a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Good job of Mike Hauser to pick that up. As we move under 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter, scoreless. Kecoughtan with the first pass of the ball game. Wilson Banks, the intended receiver. Clayshaw Brown defending, incomplete. And that stops the clock with 7:51 remaining in the first quarter.
And then, you know, this will make a coach get bald and gray in a heartbeat. You're moving the ball. You're doing a great job. You're picking up first downs. You're moving down, and then all of a sudden you got a holding penalty. Now you drop back. You're 2nd and 21.
Matt Cross over the center. Gives to Banks. And Banks is hit. And he will actually lose a couple of inches, maybe a foot or so. But he does not get back to the line of scrimmage. And it brings us up 3rd and long. So your perfect example, Bob, of how a penalty stops teams time and again.
That's Derek Farrelly, Tim. Number 20, plays that inside linebacker. And you're right, he caught him in the backfield, but you're absolutely right with the penalty. That really hurts you. Because now you're going to have to take a timeout. I'm sorry.
That's right. We just needed to mention a couple of our sponsors. Zooms, 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. Also, Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard for your next new or used Chevrolet. Go see the fine folks at Hampton Chevrolet.
And also, we don't want to forget Pearls at 15 North Mallory and Phoebus. Give them a call at 722-1907. They're your authorized Mohawk and Armstrong carpet dealer. John West is the president. Rita Barker is the vice president.
Now, are we going to award a Player of the Game award for this game?
That's right.
I thought you might want to mention that.
I will do that. We will pick a player of the game from both of these teams. Each player will receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World, located in the historic village, Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World, 595-7354. Mention this announcement for special pricing. The shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411. David Chubb, Terry McNamara.
In motion is Backus. Cross looking downfield, throws for the general vicinity of Alan Backus, but quite frankly, the wind or something caused that ball to be way off target.
I think it just really slipped out of his hands. Now you kick the ball, Tim, and you know it's not going to go in the end zone.
No, because Hampton won the toss but deferred to the second half so they could choose not only to be on defense first, but make Kecoughtan go into the wind. So this may come into play here.
See how the punter does.
Ryan Curtis is in deep punt formation for the Warriors. Left-footed kicker kicks a very short, wobbly kick. That ball won't go 15 yards at the most, maybe 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, not even that.
Well, first of all, he was trying to kick it so that there's no run back, but he's got to get a better angle than that.
An 8-yard punt. If I'm Kecoughtan and that's what I'm going to do, I'll just go on 4th down. I mean, even though 4th and 21 is highly unlikely, but that was just not a good effort on the part of the punter. And to his defense, the wind had a lot to do with that, I'm sure.
Right. We'll get a chance here after this play. We'll give you the Hampton offense and the Kecoughtan defense.
Yes, we will. Crabbers take over from their 37-yard line. And they stay on the ground as Schuler is out across the 40. So he picks up almost 4.
4 yards, second down 6.
Second down and 6 for the Crabbers. And we'll have those starters for you in just a moment or two. Ball marked at the Hampton 40. 6:35 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. Hampton and Kecoughtan. This game videotaped on the 25th of October, 2002. Hope you're enjoying the game so far. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz and Mike Hauser and the Channel 46 crew. And now a flag comes down. This will be a delay of the game. Hampton took too long. And here are the Crabbers on offense.
Thomas Wilson, senior. Edward Small, senior.
Dominic White, sophomore.
Steven Jackson, senior.
Travar Brothel, junior.
Johnny Pugh, senior.
Anthony Williams, senior.
Claysell Brown, senior.
Daryl Finna, senior. Andre Schuler, junior. Michael Roberts, junior.
As we come back to the live action, Michael Roberts, the junior quarterback, has the ball, and he is running to the near sideline and getting a couple of yards, but not much, as the defense for the Warriors closed in very quickly.
He did have a chance to look down the field.
Get him up to the line of scrimmage, man.
And as you watch, here is Roberts.
Yeah, there's no way he could have spotted an open receiver.
Yep.
He was kind of running for his life.
And after this play, we'll try and give you the Warriors starters on defense. 5:43, the clock moving here in the first quarter. Battle between the Kecoughtan Warriors and the Hampton Crabbers. Now Hampton will call timeout. That'll give us a good opportunity to show you the starters for the Kecoughtan Warriors on offense.
Corey Davis, senior. Corey Davis, senior.
John McDonald, senior.
Wilson Banks, senior. Fire Artillery, junior.
Jeremy Reese, senior.
Gerard Mayo, junior.
Dante Edwards, senior. Darnell Harrison, senior.
Lachey McMillan, junior.
Alan Backus, senior.
Third down and 9.
All right, and there you see the crowd on hand across the way. This is a home game for the Crabbers. As I mentioned, this is their homecoming. And Kecoughtan will be our next game, our last regular season game. Can you believe that already? And that'll be next Friday night here as they will play the Phoebus Phantoms. Another great contest for you. Right now it's third down and about 9 for the Crabbers. Their first possession of this first quarter. Kecoughtan took the opening kickoff and took about 6 minutes off of the clock before punting to the Crabbers. Roberts back to throw, and he throws right to a Warrior, but he couldn't hold on to it as Dante Edwards had it in his hands, but couldn't make the grab.
Well, I think the offensive man slipped when he made his cut. In fact, Dante slipped when he almost caught the ball, so it must be a little slippery on the sideline.
Well, there was rain as early as I guess as late as this morning, so it's very possible. And Williams' kick is off the side of his foot. That one won't go but about 6 yards. So both punters having a really tough quarter as the Warriors basically get the ball back where they gave it up to begin with.
I'm thinking their field position has not changed. It should have because of the wind, but just caught it too high.
A 6-yard punt preceded by an 8-yard punt. So neither one of these punters.
They don't want those statistics.
No, they'd rather we just forget about it. Can you take a mulligan on something like this? Is that what they do?
I don't think you're allowed,
but they'd love to. Back to the Warriors on offense, and this is Mr. Alan Backus as he gains yardage out to the 35.5-yard line, almost the 35. So pick up almost 8 yards on the play. You watch it from the ground level. Backus is just a downhill runner. He's just moving forward. No east and west stuff. He's going forward all the time.
He's got those shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and he is running downhill. There's no doubt about that.
Second down and a long 2. And this is given to Reese, and he will have the first down at the 31-yard line. So Jeremy Reese, the 5'9", 175-pound senior, gets the first down at the Hampton 31-yard line. Kecoughtan has thrown the ball sparingly, just one time.
And the only reason they threw it is because they had second and third and long.
Twice they've thrown it on second and third and 21. First down for the Warriors out of the I formation from the 31. Pitch goes to Backus, and Backus is stopped at about the 27-yard line, a pickup of about 4.
Well, he started stumbling as he made his cut, Tim, and but he still picked up some yards. But watch him when he makes the cut right here, right there. He stumbled a little bit, but he didn't go down quick.
Still got 4 yards. They'll mark his forward progress to the 27-yard line, 2nd down and 6. As we are inside of 4 minutes to go here in a scoreless first quarter. This is Backus, and Backus is stopped for a loss in the backfield on a beautiful defensive play by number 15, Charles Robinson Jr., as he was in quickly in a procedure call against the Crabbers, against the Warriors, rather.
Tim, let me tell you a little something. That just took too long to develop. They pulled the offside guard on a trap play, and it just never developed.
On the offense, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. It is declined. It makes it 3rd down.
And I tell you, it was, again, a mistake.
Let's go, Johnny.
I know Tommy Austin's over there said, we're moving the ball, but you can't afford to make mistakes against the Crabbers or against any of the teams on the peninsula. Mistakes will kill you.
So with the loss on the play, the Crabbers accept the play and decline the penalty. This is Wilson Banks. Banks is stood up at the 25-yard line, maybe didn't even get to the 25. They're going to say he stopped him at the 26-yard line, so it'll be a 4th down now. 4th down and about 5 for the Warriors. Watch the defensive effort. That was Darylyn Fenner, number 44, in to stop the running play. He has been outstanding on both sides of the ball for the Crabbers this year. Darylyn Fenner. He doesn't do a bad job on offense, and we'll talk about him on offense when the Crabbers get the ball back. I'll tell you, not only does he run the ball, but he receives it well. 4th down, and the Warriors are going for it. 4th down and 5. And now a penalty flag.
And delay a game again. This time it's on the Warriors. Last time it was on the Crabbers.
Oh, if you're Tommy Austin, you just can't believe, first of all, you can't believe that the 25 seconds went that quickly. And secondly, you can't believe your team let it happen.
Well, it just getting the play in bounds. And when you're calling them, you have to send players in, and there was 3 different players that came in. Oh, that hurts.
You have to have a timer in your head, because in the high school ball, they don't give you a clock to view for the clock for getting the playoff. Great effort by Wilson Banks, but it'll come up short of the 1st down. So the Crabber defense does their job again. As much the Warriors shooting themselves in the foot, but
you took the words right out of my mouth, because that's exactly what happened. Twice they've had some penalties that have hurt them on a drive. Moving the ball well,
but mistakes are really hurting them.
Well, they tried that trap play, and it just took too long to run, and they would have had a penalty anyway, but they lost yardage on it.
Crabbers take over at their 25-yard line. And this is the Andre Schuler, the running back, carrying the ball. Schuler, coming into this contest, had carried 89 times for 726 yards, averaging over 104 yards per game. As you see, Schuler from the ground level, 7-yard pickup on that play.
Great camera work.
Just a little shy of his average. He averages 8.2 yards every time he carries the football. Crabbers send Will Jennings wide to the right. On the pitch to Schuler, he's got Fenner in front of him. He gets to the 40-yard line, which will be more than enough for a 1st down, as the Crabbers will move the chains. I'm going to talk to you about Schuler, as he has 6 touchdowns and averages better than 8 yards per carry. As you watch Schuler put his shoulder down and pick up the last yard or so, but enough for a 1st down, shy of the Hampton 40. That's the first down of the ball game for the Crabbers. At the 40-yard line. And this is Schuler again, and Schuler will pick up a couple of tough yards to about the 42.
Number 5, Tim, young Mr. Tillery, who is just a junior, 5'10", 190. He met him head on.
So a pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Crabbers, as we approach 1 minute remaining here in a rapidly moving first quarter. Both teams pretty much sticking to the ground. 2nd and 2. 2nd and 8, rather. Incomplete, or was it intercepted? It is intercepted.
Oh, they call an interception by, who was that? McMillan?
I believe that was, yes, Lachey McMillan, number 1.
I didn't think he got it.
It was very close. You see him dive for it. We'll never know for absolutely certain, but the officials were right there and did not hesitate to make the call as an interception.
Little effect of the that the wind might have had on that pass. It went a little higher than Roberts wanted it to go.
So the turnover, the first of the ball game, gives the Warriors the ball at the 42-yard line. This is Backus, and he picks up about 3, spinning out close to the 45.
And that's a good run on Backus, because actually if he hadn't have spun, Tim, watch this, if he hadn't have spun, he wouldn't have picked up anything because that hole was plugged up.
Backus has just superb balance. He's always aware of where the defenders are, and that's what you have to do. You've got to run to daylight. This is Backus again. He'll try the left side, and he scoots along close to midfield. Looks like he might have just gotten across midfield. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and short with the final play of the first quarter.
That was a very fast first quarter.
Here's the replay of that last play. And you saw Backus as he crossed midfield and makes it 3rd down and about a yard as we'll return. Not going anywhere, right?
Well, we're not going anywhere, but I talked to Coach Austin earlier in the week, and he said one of the things that they had to do was keep their mistakes at a minimum, and they've made 2 mistakes that have hurt them on 2 drives so far, and they want to control the ball. They want to keep Hampton offense off the field, and by doing that, by running the ball and controlling, and if you probably, I don't know what the statistics are for the end of the first half, but time possession-wise, I would have to say that the Warriors had the ball twice as long as the Crabbers did. That's one of the things that Tommy wants to do, but you got to put points on the board.
Well, and you're absolutely correct, and you can't keep the ball and not score. There's 2 components you have to do. By having the ball and keeping the ball, you keep Hampton from being able to score with it.
Right.
But you've got to take advantage of the opportunities, because a good team like Hampton will not give you but so many opportunities, so you've got to capitalize.
Well, yeah. You are absolutely right. The good teams aren't going to give you that many opportunities.
So the second quarter set to get underway as the Warriors looking at a 3rd and a long yard, almost 2. And they give to Reese, and he picks up the first down as he is down to almost the 45-yard line. So he picked up 4 when he needed a long yard. So the Warriors, as you watch the replay, nothing fancy, just power football. And Reese does the job for Tommy Austin's Kecoughtan Warriors.
Well, you know, sometimes just being simple, but what you do it well, and that's really a trait of what the Hampton Crabbers have been in the past. They run the same play. They give you a different alignment, but they're very good at what they're doing, and right now we're seeing the same thing from the Warriors.
Ball marked at the Hampton 46. The pitch goes to Backus, and Backus tries to cut back, but he will just get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by the left side of the Hampton defense to totally shut down that play. And amongst others, again, Will Jennings, and also getting up off of the pile, number 33, Jamar Sumter.
Well, what happened that time is the defense really clogged up the hole, and Backus actually ran into his own man, and he just didn't get to spin. If you watch this, well, where the ball is going right there, he kind of he runs into his own man. Good job on defense of plugging up the hole where the Warriors wanted to go.
And that's a perfect example of the fact that on defense, you don't have to make the tackle
Absolutely.
To stop a play. You just have to break down the blocking of the offensive team. And another delay of game penalty. So the 3rd delay of game called in this game, 2 of those penalties against the Warriors. So instead of 2nd and 10, which you already are in long yardage, now you're 2nd and 15. And I guarantee you now, Kecoughtan is going to take a timeout. I think part of this might be, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think Tommy Austin would like to let referee McCullough say, I don't think you're giving the guys full 25 seconds.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't argue with him, but once he whirs his hand and he said that clock starts to go, and like a rock. You know what a rock is, don't you? That's
rock?
a Hampton Chevrolet pickup.
Oh, an I-Rock.
You rock.
I was thinking more of along a Krispy Kreme donut, which.
Yeah. Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call, 838-5450.
And Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations. They've got that Beantown coffee, which would go real well with this Krispy Kreme donut I've got here.
I was going to say, you got your box in one. I tell you, the people are looking out for him.
That was sweet. That was very nice. Gentleman came over from the PA area and offered us some very fresh Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm telling you, they're hard to say no to. All right, second down and 15. Backus stopped for a loss. So the Hampton defense doing the job right now. They're stopping Backus for no gain on that play. Timothy Richardson, number 62, amongst others.
A freshman.
In to stop. And it's on top of that, the Warriors guilty of holding. Now, do you make it 3rd and 17 or give them another down here?
No, I'd take the penalty from where the thing is sitting, Tim.
Yeah.
It will go. It'll be
full 10 yards
like 27
yeah.
at least.
Yeah. If they'd gained some yardage and it was a spot foul, you might go the other way, but I would think they'll take the 10-yard spot foul, and they will.
Again, this is one thing that Tommy wanted to stop.
Penalty is accepted and enforced from the spot of the ball from the end of the run. Repeat second down.
Second down and 16. Now it's second down, and I've got to figure out what it is.
About 27 at least.
Something like that. So, and you're a running team. You don't want to be in 2nd and 27, and you don't want a swirling wind as Lachey McMillan is out on the pattern, double teamed, and the ball never really close to him.
Well, and one thing he did, Tim, was he turned around and looked for the ball. He slowed down, but with that wind behind that ball, you got to keep running.
Here's Matt Cross.
And he got some pressure.
Yep, he tossed it downfield, but it was off the mark. Matt Cross coming into the game had some pretty good statistics. He's the number 5 passer in the Peninsula District. 14 connected out of 47 attempts, 339 yards, 4 interceptions on the season. Not a bad statistic at all. This is the draw play to Backus, and Backus will just make it a reasonable 4th down, and they will have to bring on the kicking team. Well, they'll have the wind behind their back on this play.
Well, one thing you don't want to do is turn the ball over and give the Crabbers an opportunity of good field position. And with your punter you're hoping he can get the ball up in the air with the wind behind him and get a good punt off.
Well, you don't want to give it to him on a turnover, and you don't want to give him momentum because a defensive play like that could do that. And this time Curtis, with a much better kick, takes a bound and is taken at the 19-yard line. And
that was a nice move.
Raymond Holloway with a good move to pick up a couple of yards. Fielded it at the 19, took it to the 26, so a return of 5, 6, 7 yards. Watch the replay. Let it bounce. He fielded it at the 19. And then a good job right here of getting by a man, and then finally stopped after a 7-yard return. So the Crabbers will have the ball from their 26-yard line. 9:43 remaining in a surprising no-score game to some sense, but both of these teams amongst the leaders. A 43-yard punt on that last play. This is Michael Roberts, the quarterback.
Oh, Tim, what a nice fake. Everybody thought that Darlin Fenner had that ball going off the left side.
You know, coming into the game, the Warriors were winning their game by an average of 28-8, as you see the replay here. Hampton coming into this game were winning their games 30-11. So you've got good defenses and you've got good offenses. Right now the defenses are dominating.
Yes, they are.
And the mistakes are hurting as well. Second down and 8 for the Crabbers. Trying to right the ship here as they've lost 2 games in a row. And this is Schuler, and Schuler will get close to the first down, but he'll be a yard short.
A young man who was player of the game last week, Corey C. Davis, wrapped him up, got a hold of those ankles.
Here's your replay from the ground level. And again, Davis got him and would not let him go. So Schuler picks up a yard, 3rd down and a yard. big third down here, as if the Crabbers were unable to get the first down, they would be kicking into a pretty serious breeze. Roberts on the option to Schuler, and Schuler evades the tackle. Good block by Darrell Fenner to free him up, as Fenner neutralized his man, and that was Gerard Mayo, who we saw a great game from last week.
Yeah.
And there you saw it right there. Fenner got a hold of his man, and I'm going to use that word with some quotes around it because it could have been called a hold. From my vision point, it looked like he might have grabbed the jersey of the defender. Nonetheless, no call, no foul, no harm.
And no flag.
No flag. So at the 37-yard line, the Crabbers get a fresh set of downs. This is Schuler, and Schuler into the open, and he is out across the 45, a pickup of 9.
Well, there was no contained man out on the end on the left-hand side. Crabbers split out some people on that side, or they had a double wide out, but you can see the tackle on that side pinched inside, took himself out of the play.
You know, Bob, we talked very sparingly about Mike Smith's retirement announcement and how it might affect the game. You know, it can have a negative effect too, because a lot of these young men could be taking this as, wow, you know, this could be such a disruption to them that it might not be the motivational factor. As Roberts is collared for a sack, as coming around was Wilson Banks, a former Crabber, for the sack back to the 41-yard line.
And watch this. Good job of just getting around the tackle on that side. Wilson Banks.
He did not get the face mask. He grabbed him up around the shoulder pads. And obviously, a good tackle.
You were 2nd and 1, and now you're 3rd and 6. What a big play that time by Wilson Banks. Banks playing that. What does he play out there?
What does he?
Well, I don't have him on defense. He's coming in, but he's playing one of the outside linebackers right now. And another penalty. I wonder if he's got a fast clock tonight.
He's on daylight standard time. He's ahead of the game here.
Something.
That's the 4th delay of game. I don't think I've ever seen 4 in an entire game, let alone with 6:40 to go in the first half. In any event, the Crabbers now, instead of 3rd down and a yard with the sack and the penalties, 3rd down and 11. Throwing downfield, and it's picked off. Penalty flag down. Penalty flag down. If that's defensive interference, that will be a horrible call, in my opinion. Making the interception was Mayo.
Well, that's about to be where it was, because where he intercepted the ball was at about the 38-yard line.
See if you can, you see what you can tell.
Pass interference on the white squad.
Both men have the right to the football, and I'm telling you, we saw a good portion of that in the replay. I saw the whole thing with the naked eye, and the
pass interference, 15 yards from your previous spot, automatic first down.
That was a terrible call. That each player has the right to the ball. They're both going for the ball, and that was an awful call. But in any event, nonetheless, the Crabbers benefit from the defensive pass interference call. They have the ball at the Kecoughtan 49-yard line.
Big call, because the ball would have been turned over.
Sure would have. This is Schuler, and Schuler picks up 7 or 8 yards. So far, Darrell Fenner has not carried the ball tonight. Fenner coming into this game almost 60 yards per game. Here's your replay. So Schuler picks up 7. Thought you were going to read something, that's why I shut up.
Well, I was, but I didn't have enough time, so I'm ready to blow. I appreciate the moment of silence.
Out of the I formation. And again, Schuler gets the call. And Schuler is stopped just short of the first down. It'll be very close to the first down. The 3rd down and less than a yard.
Well, where he's marking it, I don't know. He may have given it to him. Might be a good spot. And while we're looking at that,
I don't know if it was a good spot. It might have been an advantageous spot.
Well, and then a good spot for the Crabbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Pearls has been in business since 1947, and they have it all: drapes, carpets, tile, vinyl blinds, both mini and vertical, custom designed for your needs. Pearls is located at 15 North Mallory in Phoebus. Give him a call, 722-1907.
He's still short
and
by
ask
a
for
foot.
John West.
Short by a foot. Not even a foot. Short by 6 inches. In spite of the, quote, good, end quote, spot.
Yeah, I think it was a good spot for the Crabbers.
Yeah, I think Tommy Austin would argue the point.
I'm sure he would.
In any event, it's still going to bring up a 4th down.
Watch Hampton try to draw ball sides.
I said 4th down. Excuse me. It's
That's third down.
Third.
They're going for it, and they'll just go.
Yeah.
Just quarterback keeper.
And he might have gotten it on second
yeah,
effort.
he got it.
He didn't have it on the first effort, but he got it on the second effort as he got about a foot, which is what he needed, or a little bit.
Well, actually, he
less.
needed less, according to you. So if he got a foot, then he's got it.
He got it. Watch the surge here. Now watch this. Initially, Roberts is stopped. That is Roberts number 2, but very wisely keeps driving forward, and with a good surge from the offensive line.
Well, they're going to check it again.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Eagle Eye will go on record as to tell you that they got it by 3 inches.
Well, we've got a camera guy right down there. Let's see if we can get a good look at this.
Got it by 3 inches.
So he did pick up that foot.
Yes, he did.
That's all you wanted.
That's what he needed. But the officials wanted to make certain they get it right. They stopped it and wanted to make sure the measurement was there. So instead of 4th down and an inch, it is a 1st down for the Crabbers. No score here as we are down under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Schuler into the open and jumps over Backus, who was there to make the stop, just short of the 1st down. Or actually, it might be a 1st down.
Oh, it is. He crossed the.
Yep, it is. He picked up 11 yards.
Ball's on at 28, it's 1st and 10.
28-yard line as he dove over Alan Backus, who had gone down to trip him up, and plowed his way to a 1st down. 4:50 remaining in the first half. Hampton nothing, Kecoughtan nothing. This is Schuler, and Schuler's just been a workhorse. This time, nothing happening as he is stopped cold. And let me give some credit to a couple of young men who were there to make the stop. John McDonald, number 79, was there, as well as number 30, Vance Biella. And he gained nothing on that play. 2nd down and 10.
And we got a referee's timeout.
Yep. Equipment problem. Schuler with a, looks like might be a problem with his chin strap. You see referee McCullough making sure everything is set. Clock is restarted. And it's 4:15 and the clock is moving. They line up in the I formation. Fenner in front of the tailback, Schuler. Neither team effective in the air so far this evening, but Roberts will try it again. Over the middle for Anthony Williams, and it's incomplete.
And I tell you, number 6, who is that? That's Harrison, isn't it?
Yes.
He did a great job just getting a hand in it. Watch this. But we watch it from the ground level. We pick it up. He gets just, well.
Couldn't see it because Gerard Mayo was standing in our line of vision. Sorry about that. Williams in the contest for the Crabbers. 10 catches on the season, averages 17.5 yards every time he catches the ball. That's kind of nice average. Schuler for a loss as he is stopped at the 30-yard line. A loss of 2, 4th down and 12.
Well, Wilson Banks, along with Mayo, the aforementioned Mayo, just really stopped that. Watch it right here. Come around. There was nowhere for Schuler to go. Actually lost a little on that,
didn't he? He did. He lost about a yard, so it's 4th down and about 12. And the Crabbers are going for it. They would be kicking into a severe wind, and it would be about a 47-yard kick, so they're not even going to entertain that thought. Out of the shotgun, Roberts has double wides to the left side. Now Schuler goes in motion to that same side. And now we've got a stoppage of play. Did we have a timeout?
We got a flag.
5 yards previous.
So both teams just continue to shoot themselves in the foot with a 4th and 12. Now you got 4th down and 17 to go.
They called it an illegal procedure. I don't know why nobody moved.
So they move the ball out to the 35. They need to get to the 18-yard line to get a 1st down. 4th down and 17. Again, Schuler goes in motion. Same alignment as the previous play. This is a pass play, batted away nicely at the last second on a good defensive effort by Dante Edwards, number 2 of the Warriors. Played that perfectly. So on downs, as you watch the replay here, you're going to see Edwards just get the hand in there. The intended receiver was Claysell Brown, number 7. But Dante Edwards played him perfectly and batted the ball away, incomplete. On downs, the Warriors get it back, still scoreless. 2:45. Would you have imagined we'd have no score as we approach halftime?
I wouldn't have bet on that.
Nope. You would have thought someone would have scored by
Well, look at the points that both these teams have put up.
But the defenses, they're doing the job. Downfield, incomplete as Williams got a hand on the ball. The pass was intended for number 44, Ed Ross, who had actually gotten behind the defense, but the ball was underthrown and allowed Williams to get a hand on it. Watch the replay.
And that's Ed Ross, is the tight end.
Neither team to this point, with 2:39 remaining in the half, have completed a pass. Not that they've tried that many, but neither team has completed. And this is Alan Backus as the Warriors go back to the bread and butter. And Backus picks up about 3 to about the 38-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7. Kecoughtan has 2 timeouts remaining, and Hampton shows 1 on the scoreboard clock. Backus 13 carries for 54 yards here in the first half. Below his average, but he's gotten a lot of those yards against inferior teams, certainly not of the caliber of Hampton. And this will be very close to the first down. This will depend on the mark.
And he's going to give it to him. He gave him it across the 45.
Well, the chain, when it's stretched out, is across the 45.
Okay, Eagle Eye.
Well, they've signaled first down.
Nice run by Matt Cross. Nobody was open, and he just saw a nice crease and just took off.
That was close enough to measure from Eagle Eye here, and they didn't waste any time in moving the chains. Must have a hot date. 45-yard line is where the Warriors have it with another first down. They've got a bunch of them here in the first half, but no points. Backus is into the open. What a nice move, but he faked himself out. Unfortunately, he cut twice trying to get away from Williams and lost his footing, but he got another first down as they mark it at the 44-yard line.
You're right, he did. He did fake himself out right here. And as you can see, a double move, and
8 first downs for the Warriors. This one at the 44-yard line with 1:10 and the clock is moving. From the blind side, he completes the pass. Cross nailed as he threw the ball, but it is held onto by Tyree Barnes.
That was Charles Robinson Jr. that he really had a beat on Matt Cross.
Pickup of about 7, almost 8 as you watch the replay. That's the first completed pass, and you saw Cross get really nailed as he let that ball go. 40 seconds, the clock is moving. Cross across the field and throws right into the hands of Anthony Williams, who picks him off at the Hampton 31-yard line.
Each team has now had a turnover, and that could be a big one, because if you could have got down within field goal range with the win at your back, the Warriors would have gone for a field goal.
Well, as I look at the flags on the goalposts, they're just whipping all over the place here. So, but you're right. But a big interception. So each team with a turnover here in the first half. 36 seconds to go in the scoreless first half. And this is Darylyn Fenner who gets the ball for a rare occasion here in the first half. And he picks up a first down with a gain of 13 yards. That'll stop the clock briefly while they move the chains. 29 seconds remaining. Hampton does have 2 timeouts, and they will
take one. Yeah,
they'll take one of them right now. Well, we'll remind you that our final regular season game will be here at Darling Stadium next Friday night, and it'll pit these same Kecoughtan Warriors against the Phoebus Phantoms. Phoebus has a small task at hand tonight as they are up at Todd Stadium as we do this game, taking on the previously undefeated Woodside football team. So that's a game that has a lot of interest to these two teams, as well as a lot of people on the peninsula. Flags still swirling around here. Passing game has been precarious at best as a result of the wind. That timeout leaves Hampton with just one, as it does the Warriors as well. Roberts gives to Fenner again, and Fenner is across midfield to about the 48-yard line, and he is shaken up on the play. Now he gets up, and he seems to be all right.
Well, they call their last timeout, Tim.
So that final timeout comes with 21
Last timeout
seconds.
for Hampton.
Well, you can hear the wind when Mick turns that mic on. Just almost can't hear him.
No, I know. I was going to tell you a little about Fenner, but I talked about when they got the ball on offense. Fenner on the year, when he is in the backfield, and he plays extremely well on both sides of the ball, but he's carried 71 times for 415 yards, averages 59 yards per game, has 8 touchdowns, 5.8 yard average each time he touches the football. They have scored 60 points. Then he's got 15 receptions to put him amongst the leaders of the peninsula for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns. Averages better than 17 yards per catch on offense. So double threat. Downfield into coverage, almost caught by Schuler as the ball looked to be by McMillan, number 1.
That's exactly who got his hand on it.
You see a good look at Claysell Brown coming back into your picture. Watch the replay. You're going to see Roberts with plenty of time and just kind of threw into a bit of a crowd there, knowing that if the other team intercepted, it probably wouldn't be run all the way back. And with no timeouts remaining, the Crabbers taking a bit of a gamble. Now the Warriors will take their final timeout of the first half. So a rapidly moving first quarter is followed by a slowing down second quarter as a result of these teams trying to maximize their efforts, knowing that any score in this game could be the only score in this game, the way both of these defenses have played here in the first half.
I would not have thought that nobody would have scored, and especially when Kecoughtan came out and they started moving the ball, and they were picking up 7-8 yards at a whack. I thought, okay, they're going to move it down and put the pressure on the Crabbers, and then they shot themselves in the foot, and then the next time they get the ball, they did the same thing, and both teams have got a turnover. It's been a game of defense tonight, and I have to think that the wind has a little effect on the passing game.
But there's also been a lot of penalties, and we'll give you the halftime statistics just before we start the third quarter. But there's been a couple of key timing, too. You know, sometimes penalties don't hurt you as much as others. But when you're second and short and then you are second and long as a result of a penalty, it is crucial. This ball is it intercepted? Yes. Mayo, Jared Mayo with the interception. That's his second. Didn't he get the other one, or was that McMillan that got the other one?
I think it was McMillan that got the other one.
I think you're right. But there you see the pass, and intercepted by Mayo, but a penalty flag down on the play.
6 men on the line of scrimmage. 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
Well, needless to say, the
penalty
will be declined because the Warriors want the football.
Illegal procedure on the offense declined because of the interception. 1st and 10, Kecoughtan.
So 7 seconds remain in the first half, and the Warriors with their second interception of the ball game.
And they're just going to down it, take a knee, and go in at halftime.
Neither team with a timeout remaining. All they need to do at this point is just to take a knee and head for the locker room, and that's what Matt Cross will do. So we've battled for 24 minutes. The Warriors have had the better of the play, but they have been their own worst enemy And the Crabbers have turned the ball over twice. We've played a half. Our score at halftime is Hampton 0 and Kecoughtan 0. We'll return to Darling Stadium with the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. Back here at Darling Stadium, Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. As you see, the officials have returned to the field and both teams are making their way out. The Warriors have come back and Hampton still not quite back onto the field. Your halftime statistics find the Hampton Crabbers with 6 first downs, 18 carries for 79 yards on the ground. They were 0 for 6 passing the ball with 2 interceptions. They had obviously no passing yardage with no completions. They punted the ball one time, just 6 yards, that terrible off the side of the foot punt. And they returned the one kick that they did receive, a total of 7 yards. They were penalized 3 times for 15 yards, but those were all very untimely penalties. And the time of possession, very even, much to our surprise.
Yeah.
Hampton 11 minutes and 24 seconds in the first half to 12:46 for the Warriors, and a total of 79 yards offense for the Crabbers. For Kecoughtan, they had 8 first downs. They carried the ball 25 times for 103 yards. They completed 1 of 5 passes to a Warrior, and they completed 1 to a red-clad Hampton Crabber as they were picked off once. Total of just 8 yards passing for the Crabbers. 2 carries, 2 punts rather, for 25-yard average. No return yards for the Crabbers, and they were Kecoughtan, excuse me, I'll get it right yet. Kecoughtan had 5 penalties for 46 yards, and they had the ball 12 minutes and 46 seconds. But I think those penalties, most of those penalties occurred at very crucial times. The very first possession of the game, the Warriors were moving down the field. Boom, holding
penalty, yeah.
Holding penalty. And then they had a couple of delay of game penalties. When it was 2nd and 6, it made it 2nd down and 11, and it just changes your whole philosophy.
Well, and then they had that one interference call against them, so that's why they got 46 yards penalty as opposed to the 15. But even the 15, only small penalties against Hampton, came at a bad time for them. And penalties are never at a good time. But if you have a 2nd and 1, and all of a sudden you're 2nd and 11. I mean, that really hurts you. Those kind of things really take any momentum you've got and just takes it away from you. And right now, both of these teams I know have made some adjustments the second half, Tim, and we'll have to see what happens. Now, Hampton will get the ball to start the second half, and will have the wind in their face. So that means at the fourth quarter they will have the wind at their back. So let's see what kind of adjustments the team's made. And Tim, we will pick a player of the game from both of these teams tonight. That player receive a trophy in the shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World, and they're located in the historic Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World at 595-7354. You mention this announcement and you'll get special pricing. The shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidering, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara.
A good football game, second half. All right, Hampton, you deferred to the second half. That's your choice for this half. You want the ball? You want the football? Which goal do you wish to defend? You come over here. Over here. Hampton Crabbers will receiving this second half.
Into the win. Very surprised. He's saying, well, my defense can stop it, and I want the win in the fourth quarter. Evidently, is what Tommy Austin's thinking. But I do want to talk about Zooms. They're giving an award to the senior player on each one of the teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded a plaque at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for the continued support of WHCS and our student athletes. And our student athletes where are they? Here we go. We got at Bethel High School, Adam Pickrell at Hampton High, Bobby Onakwa. Is that the way you pronounce that?
Sounds good to me.
Onakwa. And Phoebus High School, Jason Bowles, and at Kecoughtan High School, John McDonald. And do appreciate Zooms helping us pick out the young men that do well in the academics.
Schuler for Hampton in the first half, 12 carries, 52 yards. Backus 14 carries for 65 yards as the kickoff is taken at the 25-yard line. And out to about the 33-yard line. Ball returned by, finally be able to pick up the number there, was number 81 for the Crabbers. That is Johnny Pugh.
Was it 81?
Yes, sir. So the Crabbers will have it at their 32-yard line is where they've marked it. Scoreless as we start the third quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and Mike Hauser doing the statistics for us tonight, along with our Channel 46 crew. When we get a chance, we
yeah,
need to
I haven't talked
the crew.
about the crew, my goodness. And I don't know how many of these people are here, but I'm going to talk about them all.
There you go. This is Schuler, who's been the workhorse. Schuler got to the outside and tripped up where he might have gone a great distance. Getting a hand on him was Darnell Harrison to prevent what might have been the first score of the ball game.
Well, watch this cutback, Tim. He's going to the right and then cut back against the grain, and right there, if he could have gotten over number 6? Harrison, he would have picked up a lot more yardage. He had Claysell Brown out in front, and I'm not Claysell, but Will Jennings out in front, number 1, blocking for him.
First down at the Hampton 47. And again, the draw play to Schuler, and Schuler's got another first down as he's inside the 40 to the 37-yard line.
Boy, the defensive linebackers, inside linebackers, just blitzed and took themselves out of the play.
Bob, you and I have talked about this as we watched the replay. We've talked about over the years about which team makes the adjustments at halftime and effective adjustments, and how many times have we seen the Crabbers as a penalty flag is down, and how many times have we seen Hampton come out after being unable to do something in the first half and make it happen in the second half.
But here you go. You got a first down, Tim, and you're really doing well. And now you got a penalty, and I'm not sure. There's a holding penalty. And it was.
Well, it's from the line of scrimmage.
Man.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
So referee McCullough tells us the spot of the foul was the line of scrimmage. So it's first down and 20. But I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. We're talking about the crew. We're going to talk about
I'll get to it in a minute. I'm just, boy, you talk about something that hurts. Two plays, pick up about 25, 30 yards, and then boom, you lose it.
This is Fenner, and Darylyn Fenner is to the 42-yard line. Picks up 4. Second down and about 16. So who is here from the crew tonight?
Well, let me tell you who we got. We got Lakeisha Porter. She's CCU. Scotty Bowers directing. Mike Nowinski does instant replay and audio.
There they are. There's the guys in the truck.
Hey, okay. Andy Foley is graphics. John Terrell helps with audio. Rachel Barnes is a computer graphics trainee. Don Scharouse is our engineer. John Moore and Juan Brown both do our crane, which tonight we don't have, but if they're here, we want to mention them. Grips, Ricky Richardson and Beth Barker. Susan Bowers on camera, Ron Baton on camera, and then Nathaniel Braxton on camera.
Got a player shaken up, as you see in your picture there. That is number 30, Vance.
Oh, where's you didn't even write him on here. Andre Mattingly is the slow motion, and this sheet that I got that they wrote, do you see Andre Mattingly's name on there?
See, they wrote it, right?
They wrote this.
And I don't see Andre Mattingly on there. I guess down in the truck they forgot to replay Andre.
They didn't replay the replay guy.
Well, we're anxiously awaiting the process of determining the injury to Vance Biella, who
Vance
is down and staying down.
What is he? They use a lot of people. I don't know what position he's playing, Tim, but I believe he's one of the linebackers or maybe one of the defensive backs.
Well, he's listed as a running back and a linebacker, but
well, then he must be playing one of the linebackers. One of the things that the coach told me is they rotate a lot of players in. He'll give you the starting lineup, but he says we play a lot of players. We want to keep our players really fresh. And so they're running some players in and out, so I'm sure he plays probably one of the linebacker positions. Let's hope he's not seriously injured. And while we do have a quick little time out here, I do want to talk about Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call at 838-5450.
Well, there you see Vance gingerly being helped off the field, and hopefully he will be able to return. But it's good news to see him walking off instead of being carried off. But they will obviously hold play up until they get him safely off the field. He's been in a couple of plays, too. I've called his name a couple of times. Remind you, next Friday night we'll wrap up our regular season as these same Warriors, third week in a row, we'll have them up against the Phoebus Phantoms, who we understand tonight is doing an excellent job, 21-3 at the half against Woodside. This is Fenner out on the pattern. I mentioned earlier about Fenner and his ability to catch the ball. 15 grabs on the season, averages 17 yards per catch, but through no fault of his, he was unable to make that catch.
Yeah, that ball was just a little overthrown, and that, again, may be because of the wind behind him, Tim.
Yeah. So that brings up a 3rd down and 15, stopping the clock with 10:28 remaining here. And again, Hampton comes out, they're running the ball, they're moving the ball. They get that big holding penalty, and they've got to go back to passing, which has not been effective tonight. They have yet to complete a pass. Only one completion between the two teams. Roberts nailed as he throws the ball intended for Fenner.
Wide open was Fenner.
Yeah,
nobody picked him up.
And as
they
well,
got a flag, Tim. I think he was maybe roughing the passer.
Will Jennings was also pretty open. We've got a penalty flag.
Foul, roughing the passer on the defense.
Well, that'll be a 1st down.
The previous spot, automatic 1st down.
So Hampton benefits not only by the 15-yard penalty. It would have been 4th and 15, but now it's 1st and 10. So again, a penalty comes back to potentially bite the Warriors in their efforts to remain undefeated.
And you're talking about biting them in the foot, right?
Biting them someplace. So the Warriors commit the penalty, and now the Crabbers with a 1st and 10 at the Warrior 43-yard line. Play action fake, and Roberts again takes the hit. A flag in the secondary. Pass is intercepted. No, they say it was incomplete. Backus was there, but a penalty flag down. It would appear to be interference on someone, and I won't even speculate at this point. Earlier, a call I questioned went against the Warriors. Let's see how this one goes. It was 1st and 10 at the 43, so if it is against the Warriors, it would be a 15-yard penalty and another Hampton 1st down. And it is.
It's who they're calling it against.
So a defensive pass interference call, the 2nd of its kind against the Warriors, and that'll give the Hampton Crabbers a 1st down inside the 30.
Carl Pearls for all your drape needs, a custom designed by interior decorator.
Pass interference. Automatic 1st down, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
They're custom designed by interior decorator Ray Paris and Tommy Thompson. They'll do a free in-home consultation. They're located at 15 North Mallory. Give them a call, 722-1907.
7 penalties for 76 yards against the Warriors as Fenner gets the call, and he is upended as he gets just a yard or two in on the stop. Byron Tillery, and a late flag comes down. So a little frustration perhaps rearing its head here.
And sportsmanlike against the Crabbers.
Oh, boy.
Boy, that comes late. That hurt.
Well, that happened after the play was over with, and some jawing and some whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't speculate, but.
And sometimes it's the second guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. More often than not, it's the second guy.
All right.
See if we can. Well, we won't be able to see that. In any event, 15 yards the Crabbers had benefited from earlier.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. 15 yards from the previous spot, 2nd down.
So the advantage taken away. The Crabbers backed up 15 yards. 2nd down and 22 to go. They had gained yardage on the 1st down. So this one was a dead ball foul. Ball is at the Kecoughtan 40. 9:49 left in the 3rd quarter. Still no score. Roberts Throwing, got a man open right between the hands of Anthony Williams.
And I don't know if he'd have been in bounds if he'd have caught it, but it would have been close. But that was a nice pass, where only he could catch it.
Would have been a spectacular catch had he been able to make the grab. There you see the scoreboard, bunch of zeros. There you see the pass. Would have been real close. It looked like he was in bounds, but just went through his hands. Just a really tough night for anyone to try and catch a ball.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Parkland Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. Phone call out there. Give him a call at 827-4670.
3rd down and 22 for the Crabbers. Need to get all the way down to the 18-yard line. Play action fake. Same play, different receiver, same result. Schuler blanketed by Hairston and incomplete.
And today's contest is brought to you again in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. Give them a call at 825-1416 or 850-5564. Mark and Kenny, they're on call 24 hours a day.
So the Crabbers will bring on the kicking team. Anthony Williams, the punter. Warriors did not have all their players on the field, but that's to their problem, because the Crabbers don't need to have all of the Warrior players on the team.
No, they don't need them all on the field.
No.
You want to play with 10? That's
right.
You know, watch me. I'm not going to call timeout because you don't have everybody in there.
27-yard punt with no return. The only thing that would have come into play is if the Warriors brought on too many players.
Yeah.
But they didn't have too many. They just didn't have 11 on the field yet. They were all still shifting and coming on.
This is the worst field position that any one of the teams have had tonight.
Yeah, Williams' punt was not a particularly long one, but it was effective in that it's out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So that's where Backus will take the handoff, and he'll gain maybe a yard as he is upended literally at the 15-yard line.
Well, he's going to have to make some adjustments, Tim, because that hole is plugged up. So he's going to have to find a crease there somewhere. The Crabbers are starting to make some nice adjustments on defense.
Gain of almost 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Warriors. This game rapidly becoming a game of field position. Got 2 receivers to the near side, only 1 defender out here. But they, in fact, hand off to Backus. And Backus fumbles the football, and it will be recovered by the Warriors. Backus got it back.
A Hampton Crabber, Tim, tried to pick it up rather than make sure he's got the ball.
If you're a coach, you go absolutely crazy when you see this. How many times have we talked about this? Watch, you're going to see the Hampton Crabber trying to pick it up and trying to run it in when all he really needed to do was to fall on the ball.
Well, and all fairness to young Mr. Allen Backus, he got back up after losing the ball and was the one that recovered the fumble.
Did not lay on the ground and wallow in his own self-pity, but he got his own fumble back. Backus got his fumble back, and Kecoughtan retains possession. Crabbers could have easily had it. All they had to do was fall on it. This is Backus again, and he will pick up minimal yardage. Gain out to the 20. It brings up a 4th down and about 4. Watch the replay from the ground level. And again, you're going to see Backus into that line. Darylyn Finnan, number 44, in the middle of your picture.
Good shot of Coach Danny Mitchell, and right behind him is Alvis Mann.
2 gentlemen's names who have been prominently considered as Mike Smith's replacement down the road. Warriors kicking on 4th and 4. Curtis.
They called timeout there, Tim. They again only had 10 men on the field. They only got 10 people on the field, and man, you want all of your people on the field when you're punting the ball with your back to your own end zone.
So they get the timeout in time. 7:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter. There's going to be an extension of the postseason because of the situation in Northern Virginia.
In fact, yeah.
Which prevented playing of games. So what they've done is they've added a week to the postseason. There will be an extra week between the regular season ending, which I believe is on the 8th of November, scheduled to be ended on the 8th of November, is when the last game.
Well, I know that the semifinals are going to be played the 7th of December, and the state finals on the 14th.
Right. Well, the final last regular season game will be the 9th of November, which is a Saturday.
Right.
And then instead of the playoffs starting the following Friday, my understanding is they won't start until 2 weeks after that. But in any event, a lot to be determined. A battle up at Todd Stadium tonight between Woodside and Phoebus. And then these two teams will have a lot to do with it. Ball was touched by someone, and was it a Hampton Crabber?
And no, it was not a Crabber touched the ball.
The Warrior coaches up in the press box going crazy because they think a Crabber did touch it. See if we can pick it up on the replay and see if we can see who touched the ball.
Right there, definitely.
Yeah,
it
was a Warrior. 22-yard punt into that pretty substantial breeze. So a field position game becoming more and more the case. Ball inside the 42. Crabbers nothing, Kecoughtan nothing. We have 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Scoreless football game. This is Darylyn Fenner, and Fenner picks up about 8 yards.
Oh, that's a play that Mike Smith uses very successful, Tim. They'll put a man in motion, and that linebacker will move out, and then you pop Fenner right back against the grain, and he is wide open.
So Fenner got almost 8 yards. Second down and a long 2 or a short 3, however you want to look at that.
I think short 3.
Okay.
That's where I want to look at it. You asked me how I want to look at it, right?
Sure.
Oh, oop. I'd like to choke myself.
And Darylyn Fenner
picks up a long 5.
A long 5. No, picks up the first down to the 29-yard line. So he did. He picked up 5. So they'll move the chains, and Hampton will have another first down.
Well, they got a short field to work on.
Well, you know,
hopefully you don't hurt yourself again.
The previous change of possession, if you recall, the Warriors got it in their worst field position, to use your terminology, at their own 14. So when the Crabber defense held and they had to kick into the wind, so it becomes this field position we're talking about. And on the delayed handoff to Schuler, he stopped after a short gain on a real nice defensive play by number 55, Corey C. Davis.
And he was assisted by number 5.
It's Corey C. Big Davis, right? 6'4", 310.
That's big Corey.
Yeah, he's big Corey, all right. So just a short gain, a little more than 2 yards. Second down, let's call it 8.
So we're going to have a timeout right now. Hampton Crabbers, there's something they want to see. They don't want to get another penalty. If you're not sure, you think the time is running long, call that timeout.
So each team has burned one of their allotted 3 timeouts here in the third quarter. And your ball-carrying leaders now have added a few yards to their previous stats. Schuler now with 14 carries for 69 yards, and Backus, the Peninsula District leader, has 72 yards on 17 carries. Neither of them enjoying the usual success, but they don't always play against the defense of the caliber that we've seen tonight either.
Right, and that's the key tonight, Tim, has been the defense. I think the weather has had a little bit to do with it. The wind, not the temperature, but if you're Hampton, you don't want to make a mistake down here where you've got great field position. Your wind is at your back.
Fenner has picked up 41 yards on 6 carries. So the Crabbers tandem of Fenner and Schuler over the 100-yard mark. So second down and 8 for the Crabbers at the 27, out of the eye. Got Fenner leading the blocks for Schuler. Play action. Fenner is the open man.
He's wide open, Tim. And that's what you were talking about, how many yards he's got catching the ball this year.
And you saw exactly how effective that was. The line of scrimmage was the 28-yard line. They're all the way down to the 8. So a gain of 20 He averages better than 17 yards per grab, so he pads his stats with that 20-yard pickup and a 1st and goal for the Crabbers.
That was a good call by the coaching staff. Fenner come out of that backfield just on an out, and a nice pass from Roberts right on the money.
And that's not an easy pass to complete.
No, it isn't,
any
but he did break his stride,
No,
which
that
also helped.
Yep. 1st and goal at the 8. And now the Crabbers have to call a 2nd timeout.
Well, now that time they tried to draw Kecoughtan off into the neutral zone on a count cadence, and if you don't pull them off, then Mike will call a timeout, say, okay, that didn't work, but we got we've used 2 timeouts, but fellas, we got a chance to score here, and if our defense can do the job they did the first half, that's to our advantage.
Needless to say, with no score and we have 5:05 left in the 3rd, any score in this game could be huge the way these defenses have played. Coming into the contest, as I mentioned, the Crabbers averaging 30 points per game on offense and Kecoughtan 28 points on offense. But the defenses, Hampton number 4 in the district and Kecoughtan number 1 in the district, total yardage allowed. And the Warriors have only allowed 57 points in 7 games.
I know, they've really done well.
Schuler in motion. The handoff to Fenner. Fenner stopped, and he'll get just about to the 5 or 6 yard line. Looks like they'll mark him at the 6.
Tim, and great job that time of the Warriors wrapping him up, because he bounced and tried to get outside. As you'll watch, he will bounce, try to get outside, and then he just got wrapped up. And
John
there was
McDonald.
No play. Big John McDonald, who will receive the academic award for the Warriors this year.
6'3", 220, and he would not let go of the runner. So it's
grabbed a hold of him like he was a ham sandwich, didn't he?
2nd and goal at the 6. This is play action.
Nice
Roberts, knocked away at the last second. Fenner had it, but it was knocked away from him on a great defensive play to bust up the catch.
What a great fake, Tim. I thought Schuler had the ball.
This was great play action here, but our camera people not fooled for a moment. And there you say Fenner had it, but then as he got it, he was knocked loose of the football. And I think that was number 1 McMillan who got him. I couldn't quite make out the number, but whoever it was saved a touchdown.
Well, McMillan came from the opposite side, so it very well could have been him.
In any event, whoever that was, he broke up 6 points. Number 2, okay, it was Dante Edwards then, thank you. Dante Edwards with a touchdown-saving tackle. And now Roberts sacked. Mayo, Jared Mayo again playing a great job on defense. Sacked at the 10-yard line, 4th and goal. And now the Crabbers, within field goal range, would appear to be bringing on the kicking team.
Yeah, that's Corey Johnson, number 99.
So this will be a 25-yard attempt from right in the middle of the hash marks. The kick is blocked. It's blocked, no good, so the Warrior defense does the job again.
Well, Tim, I'm really surprised. I thought that they centered the ball before the field goal kicker Johnson was ready. He got out there, just stepped back.
Watch this. He was 5 yards back, not 7.
From the 20-yard line.
See, they didn't set up but 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. And it's traditional that you go 7 yards.
Right, and again, I don't think that Johnson had a chance. I mean, he walked up there, stepped back, and boom, didn't even get a chance to look at it or anything. But that's a mistake that could haunt the Crabbers.
No score. Warriors defense comes up big. This is Backus, and he picks up 7 to the 27.
Well, I tell you, the Warriors dodged a bullet, but defensively they made some great plays down there.
Watch this replay as you'll see it from the ground level. This is Alan Backus, gang tackled, but not until he picks up 7 right at his average. Clock moving here in the third quarter. We approach the 3-minute mark. Just to want to throw this word out there, overtime. These teams will play to a conclusion as Reese gets the ball for little or no gain. Got a illegal motion call against the Warriors, so that possibly will be accepted. It would be 3rd down and about 3 if they don't take it. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 if they do take it. Or 2nd down and 8.
Illegal shift by the offense. They were not set. 1 second before the snap. Repeat 2nd down, 5-yard penalty.
So they placed the ball between the 21 and the 22.
Well,
so
that's a long 9.
Yeah, it's a long 8, short 9.
Well, okay.
Well, you got to get to the
9
30.
yards is long.
Yes, yes it is. You got to get to the 30. Matt Cross gives to Wilson Banks. Banks is missed by one man, but not by the rest of the group. And the ball comes loose, but it was after the whistle had blown.
I'm surprised with that call going wide against the Crabbers. They're very quick on defense. As you watch, they really go to the ball, and Banks really didn't have any place to go. You need to go north and south against the Crabbers.
So the loss of 3 back to the 19-yard line makes it 3rd and 11.
And see, that's 2 plays, Tim. They were 2nd and short,
yep,
or even 3rd and short. Now they're 3rd and long.
Student body right. Backus trying to get loose, but not able to do so, as caught from behind on a very fine defensive effort by number 33, Jamar Sumter. And he stops Backus from getting a 1st down.
He only picked up a couple yards, but again, you're going wide, you're running east and west.
So into the wind, and the Crabbers put 2 deep men back. Curtis's punt fielded at the 45-yard line, and the special team does a great job as he actually ends up losing a yard. They'll give his forward progress to the 46. 26-yard punt, but a 1-yard negative return. You see him field it there, and that's all he ever got. He never got back to where he fielded it.
Right, and that's Holloway, number 10, tackled by number 10, Mayo.
So they'll start from the 46 again. Again, they had much better field position on the previous change of possession. And the Crabbers were doing very well on offense until they had some penalties. And Schuler is stopped for a yard loss.
Nice play that time by, that's our big Corey C. And he's slow to get up.
He's not getting up right away. He is shaken up. He took a pretty good stinger. He might have a cramp, I'm not sure.
And I think that's exactly what it is. Good call, Tim.
Well, I'm not sure of that, but it appears to.
Yeah, he's got a cramp. You can see the way they're trying to pull his toe back to ease that cramp in the calf muscle.
And you and I have talked about it before.
Oh man!
You know, you almost wish you'd break something because the cramp is so excruciating. 1:01, the time on the clock here in the third quarter. So big Corey C, big Corey C, is still being attended to, and hopefully all it is a cramp. Now they try to stretch him out, and that's usually a good indication of that being the case.
Well, and not to belittle that thing, but that is excruciating pain when you get one, because it's like, man, I can't do nothing. I can't stand on it. You try to relax, and it just knocks up on you.
A lot of times you associate a cramp with dehydration and a hot night, and of course it's anything but that tonight.
Well,
but you can get a cramp anyway.
But he plays both sides of the ball, Tim.
Sure. Oh yeah, you get on the sidelines, or you get cooled down a little bit, and then you go in, and you can get a cramp under a lot of different circumstances.
I get them at night when I'm sleeping.
Well, that happens to me occasionally. But Corey is out of the ball game, and he's down on the sideline over there, still trying to work that cramp out. But he's a very important part of that defense. This is a lateral, and Schuler very smart to fall on that ball because it was not a forward pass, and that was a live ball. Good heads-up play by Schuler to cover it.
And that'll be a loss on that.
Yep. They'll lose yardage. It'll move the ball back to the 49-yard line of Hampton. And it makes it 3rd down and 15 to go. And we are inside a half a minute to go in the third, still scoreless. We'll talk about the rules of overtime for those of you who may not understand it, but we'll talk about it as we move into the fourth quarter, should it become a factor. Roberts, pass incomplete, tipped and intercepted by Backus. And Alan Backus comes up with the pick on a tip drill.
That ball hit the receiver right in the hands, but as he was bringing his hands up.
And the ball was just too hot to handle.
And I tell you, number 5, who the intended receiver is holding his hand like he may have jammed a finger.
It would have been easy to happen. Alan Backus waited for that ball, probably felt like an eternity for it to come down.
I'm sure it did.
So with just 4 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter, Kecoughtan again has the ball at their own 41-yard line. What could be the final play of the quarter, Backus picks up a couple of yards. He is tackled on the final play of the quarter by number 66, Dominique White, a sophomore. But that will be the final play of the quarter as the ball will be marked at the 43-yard line, and that's where it'll be when the Crabbers and the Warriors switch sides of the field. Right now, let's go down to the sideline as Ron Baton has a special presentation for us.
You're watching the Hampton Crabbers on WACS TV 46. Go
Tough duty, but someone has to do it, right?
I know Ron just hates that.
All right, we have played 3 quarters, and we still continue, or at least I do, continue to be surprised that we've got no score. But it's been that kind of game. It's been a tough defensive battle, and neither team has been able to sustain a drive.
And but Hampton had the best opportunity down there to score 2 great defensive back plays in the end zone, and like you said, when they're kicking at the field goal, they were only back 5 yards instead of the customary 7.
Coming into this contest, Woodside was the leader on the Peninsula District Division 5 teams with a 14.3 power rating. Phoebus with a 14.1.
Woodside is Division 6, Tim.
Are they 6?
Yes.
That's even better for Kecoughtan, for Phoebus, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they were 14.3, but it's irrelevant then. Phoebus 14.1 as Backus is stopped after a short gain by Andre Schuler.
Schuler did a great job that time of making sure he kept his weight down so that he could go wherever direction that Alan Backus decided to go in.
Point to the power rating that I was going to make was, as we watched the replay, is should Kecoughtan win this game, and that's a big if right now, they would pick up a tremendous number of power points because they would get points for all of the victories that Hampton got, and I won't even start to explain the power rating.
Well,
just trust me to tell you.
Same as reverse for the Hampton.
Sure. No question about it. The point is that Kecoughtan's power rating is 4 points higher than Hampton, so it'd be much more crucial to Hampton rather, to lose this game than it would be Kecoughtan. A loss in this game would pretty much eliminate Hampton from postseason opportunities.
And here you come up with the 4th down, Tim, and you got the ball just across half court. I'm thinking basketball, midfield, and your Kecoughtan says, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to punt the ball.
Yeah, they just can't take a risk. And besides that, they have the wind behind them. You've got to play field position in a scoreless game here in the fourth quarter. Ryan Curtis, who shanked one but then kicked another really fine punt, gets a good snap, and the left-footed kicker hits it beautifully. All he hopes for is it doesn't roll into the end zone, and it won't. This ball is going to be down at the 3-yard line. What a great punt by Ryan Curtis. I think that makes up for that shank of earlier.
There's no doubt about that. He just got back in good favor with the kicking coach.
A 47-yard punt and no return. It's not even the distance, as more importantly where they've put Hampton. 97 yards away from a score are the Crabbers, and we are scoreless with 10:26 remaining in regulation.
Second half is brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, conveniently located at Hampton's Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. For a tour of the facilities, give them a call at 827-4670. Nancy Staten is the manager.
Nancy?
Nancy.
This is Fenner, Darylyn Fenner, picking up a couple of yards to about the 6. Gain of 3.
Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. Mark and Kenny, they're on call 24 hours a day. Emergency service, $45. Free estimation. Give them a call. Estimates on new installations. I'm getting ahead of myself. 825-1416 and 850-5564. One of these, Mark or Kenny, I'm not too sure, of the Gaddis boys' dad. Which one is it, Scotty? Kenny.
Roberts standing at his goal line, incomplete. Fenner, the intended receiver, Dante Edwards, the defender on the play, and brings up 3rd down and about 7. Just one completed pass for Roberts tonight, 1 of 13 for 19 yards. That was that pass to Fenner earlier.
And that was an excellent pass.
Yeah, and that's what they tried again. They tried to spot Fenner, but a good job by Edwards to break it up. 3rd and long. Roberts standing at his goal line. Claysell Brown short. Couldn't quite get it as it was underthrown. And now the Crabbers, this is what the Warriors were hoping for.
Well, this is what happened to them. Watch this ball, just a little short.
Yep, just underthrown, and Claysell Brown was open, but it couldn't get it to him. So the number 1 quarterback on the peninsula, just 1 of 14 on the night with a couple of interceptions. And the Crabbers will be kicking from their end zone, and Williams had difficulty earlier, and this time it'll be into the wind. Williams, a high end-over-end kick, but it takes a Kecoughtan bounce, and it's down inside the 25-yard line.
Wow.
It was bouncing backwards. It was actually a good play by the Crabber to grab it. That was Travar Broughton who took it before it bounced further toward the Hampton end zone. Watch this. It just got caught up in the breeze, and it was like a 9-iron shot, the pitching wedge. It was going backwards.
Had a little bit of spin on her.
Just a 16-yard punt. And 1st down. This is that field position we spoke of. 22-yard line for the Warriors to start. This is Reese. And the ball came loose, the Crabbers say, but the officials ruled it was down and a whistle had blown. So the Crabbers will not get possession.
Watch the replay. It zooms where you get your Beantown coffee, fried chicken, potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts the way you like them, Tim, a box in one, ham and cheese subs, pizza, Coke, and of course you can fill up your gas tank with that good Citgo gas.
They marked the ball at the 18-yard line, so a gain of almost 4. Let's call it 2nd down and a long 6. Need to get to the 12-yard line. Rolling, Matt Cross wants to throw, and he will be sacked.
Oh, man,
what a superb effort.
Great defense.
73, the aforementioned Travar Broughton, who downed that punt moments ago, downs the quarterback here.
And this is a decision that Mark Cross should have got rid of the ball.
Yeah. And to his defense, he's a high school player who will learn from his mistakes, and that was a mistake that Matt should have unloaded the ball, should have just thrown it deep and far out of bounds. He would have been allowed to do so. This time it's to Backus, and Backus is stopped at the 25-yard line. May have gotten across the 25.
But about a 42-yarder if they're going to try a field goal, so I don't know how strong the leg of their kicker is.
Well, it looks like they're going to bring on the kicking team.
Pearl's been in business since 1947, and they have it all. Drapes, carpet, tile, vinyl, blinds, both mini and vertical, custom designed for your needs. Give them a call, 722-1907.
They set up 7 yards back from the line of scrimmage this time. Snap is good. The kick is long enough, and it's good.
Oh, you kidding me? What a foot.
39-yard, 41 yard. 41 yards.
I figured it'd be about a 42-yarder. I wasn't far off. Watch this. We watch it from ground level.
Had plenty of distance. Ryan Curtis makes it 3-0 in favor of the Warriors.
You're looking for new or used cars or pickups. Give them a call down at Hampton Chevrolet at 838-5450. They're located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard.
So Ryan Curtis had one blocked earlier in this half. This time, and that one was a 35-yard attempt, but they only lined up 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage and had it blocked. This time, they lined up 7 yards deep.
Well, Tim, the one that was blocked was the Hampton Crabbers.
I'm sorry. You're right. It was Hampton. I got confused for a moment. You're absolutely right.
Well, it was kicking from the same direction.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Just confused you.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Same end zone was being kicked into. This one fielded at the 2. This is Williams. Williams stuffed at the 22-yard line. No, you're right. That was Hampton that tried that earlier. You're absolutely right.
So, because when you said 7 yards back, Hampton wasn't 7 yards back.
Right. No, I was thinking about the same distance, but it was a different team. So now the Crabbers down by 3. This was quite a kick. Again, a little help from the wind. This was Anthony Williams, and he was just stood up at the 22-yard line. So the Crabbers, 78 yards away from a score, have 7:14 in which to do it, and they have 1 timeout remaining. If you remember, they burned 2 timeouts early in the third quarter. Roberts hit as he throws, incomplete, intended for Williams.
Well, Williams was open, Tim, but there was a Warrior that got a hand on it, and I'm not sure who it was. It may have been number 6, Harrison.
Well, I'll tell you who did get a hand on something, and that was Byron Tillery, who got a hand and a body all over Michael Roberts as he threw the ball, because Roberts had a face full of Tillery and may have thrown that ball a little sooner than he wanted. Stops the clock with 7:10 remaining. Double wideouts to the near side. That's Pugh and Claysell Brown to the near side. Roberts drops back, steps up in the pocket, and the pocket collapses as he is really racked again. And this time putting the finishing touches is Julius McCormick. And McCormick.
And I see it looks like we got a flag on the play.
McCormick, 6'1", 210, just nailed Roberts.
And John McDonald, number 79, was in the bottom of that pile.
On the defense, 15 yards.
Unsportsmanlike
from
the defense.
15-yard line, first down.
I'll only speculate and guess that it might have been taunting. They might have said, something about in your face. But this was quite a defensive play. You just have to make sure that's all you do.
Dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct. Defense is short of the first down. It'll be third down. Third down.
Because the chain gang moved. It was not enough for a first down.
Well, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was about 2 yards short.
So the officials now will have to reset the chains and get it right. It was not enough for a first down. So they'll back the chains up. It'll be third down and short. The original line of scrimmage was the 22-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 2.
And I thought it was 1 or 2 yards. It wasn't a full 15.
Yeah, if you recall, the kick was taken by Williams at the 2-yard line and returned it to the 22.
22, right. So, okay.
So they've got it right. It is 3rd down, not 1st down, because the unsportsmanlike does not carry an automatic 1st down. If it was a loss of some yardage on that play, but the unsportsmanlike penalty was assessed from the dead ball spot of the foul. So the official still discussing it to make sure they've got it correctly. This is too important a game to not have it right.
Stat man, well.
You can see referee McCullough on the near sideline explaining to the coaches on the Hampton
Did he
side.
move the orange clip?
He moved everything.
Hey, he moved everything. Hey, Nick, I'm talking this much now. I'm pretty good over here counting.
Danny Mitchell is saying when they reset the chains, it cost him some yardage.
And, it very possibly could have if they didn't have a marker on the chain. Sometimes they'll put a little flag in, like on the 20, where the chain crosses the 25.
3rd down and 2.
At the 22-yard line, and that's where they've reset the chain. So it's pretty close. It may be a foot one way or the other.
Well, but if you're looking from Hampton's perspective, You're seeing it different than you are from the Warriors, or in this case from McCullough. But a good point. The chain gang on the other side prematurely moving.
So they get an illegal procedure call against the chain gang. Roberts play action, got a man open. Williams has got the ball, and he is stopped by Backus, a touchdown preventing tackle at the 38-yard line.
What a nice throw into the wind that time. And the wind may be coming down a little bit, but look at the linebacker getting picked up right there by Schuler.
32-yard pass completion, and Backus saved the touchdown by preventing Williams from getting away. Williams, as I mentioned, 10 catches on the season coming into this game, 175 yards and 4 touchdowns. That might have been the biggest catch of his career because it keeps the Hampton drive alive. This is Schuler, and Schuler is into the open. He is stopped at the 25-yard line. Another 1st down, a gain of 12.
And how many times have you seen that, Tim? And you and I watching anybody play, but at one big play, and pretty soon the defense seems to just, get down on themselves. And what nice blocking at the point of contact, and a good run by Andre Schuler.
Dante Edwards to make the stop, but not before a 1st down short of the 25-yard line. Crabbers trailing 3-0. We have 5:42 to go in the 4th quarter. Schuler, right side, and Schuler with a flag down.
And another, and I'm not sure what that was.
Usually in the area you might have had a holding call, and that's the call. That'll be a spot foul. He had gained about 5 yards. Watch the replay. It marked the ball at the 25-yard line. So they move it out to the 32. It must have occurred right around
Holding by the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 1st down. Still 1st down.
Well, that's what, about 16, 17 yards. So it's only end up about a 7-yard penalty.
Yeah, it's a spot foul from the point. They were down to the 22, so they move it out to the 32. So it is still 1st down, as you heard referee McCullough, 1st and 17 to go for the Crabbers. Plenty of time, but they only have 1 timeout remaining. On the play action, Roberts throws, and it's almost intercepted. Mayo had the opportunity and couldn't hold it.
He may have been thinking run.
Oh, yeah. Threw it right and hit him in a bad spot. Right in the knuckles. Watch this replay from the ground level. You're going to see the ball thrown right to Jared Mayo, and he couldn't hold on to it.
Well, he was going up in the air, too, when he probably didn't have to jump. As you can see, the time on the clock. Second down.
Second down and 17. Roberts, good protection, throws it up for grabs, and it's caught. Williams, first and goal at the 3.
He just took it away from the defender.
That was Lachey McMillan. They jumped simultaneously for the ball, but Williams came up with it. First and goal at the 3-yard line.
As a defender, you want to do, first of all, what you want to do is make sure nobody's going to catch it. But you're right, it was just kind of a jump ball.
Good job by Backus to recover. I'll tell you, Backus is one of the guys that you want to have on your team for a lot of reasons.
I tell you.
He doesn't quit. He doesn't stand there and watch it. He realized the ball was intercepted and went over and made the tackle to at least prevent the touchdown. That's the second touchdown he's prevented here on this drive. This is Fenner, and Fenner will not get in. He'll be to the 2-yard line. Grabbers second and goal at the 2.
Well, Kecoughtan is going to have to put their big guys up front, stop that straight ahead. We may see a fake of a handoff by Roberts and just a naked bootleg, or even a quick little pass. But they'll fake it if they don't give it to the one of the backs.
I think they'll give it to Fenner.
Well, they're lined up side by side rather than in the. Yep, you're right.
And Fenner does not get in. Fenner to the 1. Third and goal as the tension mounts here. 3:43 and the clock is moving. Homecoming for Hampton. If they win this game, they're back in the hunt. If they lose it, they will all but be eliminated from postseason play because of the power ratings. Now an official's stoppage of the clock while they set the ball. It's third and goal, the ball just inside the 1 as one of the Warriors
said, well, it's too
booted
close.
it. It's a little too close. We'll move it outside the 1.
Good shot there from the sideline camera, Ron ESPN Baton. Where's he sitting in the back of the end zone?
Third and goal at the 1. Schuler, the back. Schuler gets the ball. No signal yet. They say he did not get in.
What
it's
a
going to be
defensive
fourth
stand.
and goal. 4th and goal inside the 1.
Do you go for it, Tim, or do you go for the 3 points?
I was going to speculate before we got to this point, and I said, well, you know what? Let's just wait and see what happens. But I started to say, what do? You can kick a field goal. You got a bad angle.
5-yard face mask on the defense. You're going to repeat third down.
Wow. They get another third down.
I'm going to tell you something. Hampton has certainly gotten the benefit of some crucial penalties in this contest. A crucial penalty in this contest, not because of the yardage, but because they get the down over. It would have been 4th down, but instead it was not a dead ball foul.
No,
so it was a take the penalty, half the distance to the goal, repeat the down. Now the Crabbers burn their final timeout.
Tim, if they do not get in this time, they will go for it again.
Now we can talk about that, but let's talk about players of the game too. We've got to come up with a player of the game for each team for this game. And there's some tough choices, I'm telling you. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I believe that was a previous.
I think so.
So, but let's just wait and see what happens here. But let's set it for you. It's 3-0 Kecoughtan. 2:49 remains in regulation. And I will tell you that there is no tie in high school ball. If you're unfamiliar with that, they will play an overtime session if it is tied after regulation. But Hampton has 2 opportunities as a result of the face mask penalty. It's 3rd down and goal. It should have been, or could have been, I should say, 4th and goal had the penalty not been called.
Well, look at where the ball is, Tim.
Yeah, it's inside the 1. It was half the distance to the goal.
Right.
This is Schuler. Touchdown. So Andre Schuler on a 1-yard touchdown run. That is his 7th touchdown of the season. Watch this replay. You're going to see the Warrior defensive line did a good job on the surge.
And look at Backus right in there.
Backus was right there, made the stop in the backfield, but Schuler too strong as he got into the end zone to give the Crabbers a 7-3 lead with 2:45 remaining.
Well, I tell you, Alan Backus got in and put a shoulder on him, and it was very close to see if his knees didn't come down before the ball crossed the goal line, but great job of blocking.
But I'm telling you, the Warriors got some really bad breaks. They had some crucial penalties called against them. As you see the touchdown being recorded by the Crabbers, you had a penalty back here earlier in this drive that kept the drive alive. You had the 4th and goal situation, which became 3rd and goal because of the face mask penalty. Just some tremendously important, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty come up against the Warriors after they had gotten a sack, and they had a 15-yard penalty as a result of that. So if you're Tommy Austin, you're going to look back on this game and say, we were our own worst enemy in this game. We had the penalties called, and whether you agree with the penalties or not, they were called, and that's what's ultimately, I believe, going to be the reason that Kecoughtan might not win this game. A lot of time left, though. Plenty of time. The Warriors have 2 timeouts remaining, and they have 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But they cannot get anything less than a touchdown in order to keep this game or to win this game.
And they have 2 timeouts, it looks like.
Right, that's what I said.
Did you say that?
I said it.
Well, I was not listening good enough.
2 timeouts, 2:40 on the clock. Ball is at the 28-yard line of the Warriors. They've been ineffective passing all night long. They're going to try a little reverse here. This is Dante Edwards trying to make a move. He keeps the ball. He's still going out close to midfield. That'll stop the clock while they move the chains.
Nice call, Tim, but a better run because that young man looked like he was stopped at about the 40.
Watch this. They're going to see the ball given to Backus, and then against the grain on the reverse, this is Edwards. What a nice cut right there. And then he keeps going. He got 10, almost 15 yards more after the initial stop. Ball marked at midfield. First down, Kecoughtan. They have led 3-0 as Backus gets the call. They have plenty of time. They have the 2 timeouts remaining. They don't have to pass the ball on every down.
Well, you know, Alan Backus got to be tired. He's got to be tired.
He stopped 2 touchdowns on that previous drive by Hampton on the completed pass to Williams and the other completed pass to Williams.
Well, they got him spread out with the trips to the top of the screen.
This is Matt Cross as he comes up short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and a yard at the 41-yard line.
And field goal will do them no good. They've got to get the ball in the end zone.
I did happen to hear, by the way, the PA announcer announced Bobby Onwuka. That's the pronunciation.
Onwuka?
Onwuka is the way. Onwuka?
Onwuka.
Onwuka.
Okay.
We couldn't hear it very well.
Onwuka.
Here's Matt Cross's run. And again, a good effort on his part to make it 3rd and a yard. So the Warriors take one of their final 2 timeouts with 1:34 remaining. So our players of the game, and trust me, this was again no easy task because a tremendous effort
We
by
haven't
a lot of players.
announced them yet, have we?
No, I'm getting ready to tell them. Unless you want to hold off and consider changing your mind here.
Well, you know, you got to look at this guy.
Well, and you also got to look at another guy who caught a couple of big passes. So, but you got this guy. Okay.
I'm easily.
Well, I can see that. I have a bridge I want to sell you. Got a halfback option. McMillan throws incomplete, almost intercepted. That was intended for Tyree Barnes on a halfback option pass with 3rd and a yard.
Well,
now you put yourself in a 4th and 1.
Yeah. Well, and the coaches are thinking that's the last thing they're going to expect.
That's true. The element of surprise. Now, if you're Kecoughtan, you have to get a yard or you've lost the game, period. This is Reese, and Reese has the first down. Forward progress across the 40, and that's all he had to have.
Well, is that a lot of confidence in that offensive line or what?
Yes, sirree, and a lot of confidence in Jeremy Reese, too. Watch this as Reese, determined to get the first down. His forward progress got him across the 40, so they do get a first down. Momentarily, the clock was stopped. Now it should be restarted. It hasn't started yet. The clock was to start right away, and it didn't start. As soon as they set the ball on first down, they made the motion to start the clock, but now the officials are. He wants 4 seconds off the clock. 1:19.
Well, that's close enough.
That's close enough for government work. All right. Got you covered. See, Mick knew I was listening to him.
Oh, Mick's got you. He's going to have to put you on his Christmas list.
Now the clock is started with 1:19, and it's moving. And Reese, nothing. The Hampton defense there to stop him. So now it's going to be 2nd and 9 after a 1-yard gain by Reese. So they really kind of wasted a down there. Cross decides to run with it, and he will not get back to the line of scrimmage.
But if you got to either get down to the line of scrimmage, you got to get out of bounds.
Well, they're saying he threw the ball. They're saying he released the ball incomplete. Just as he was going down, he threw the ball. So that stops the clock with 48 seconds remaining and makes it 3rd down and a long 9. Now they're hustling. They could take the full time to go to a huddle here because the clock doesn't start on the incomplete pass, but they choose to go with no huddle. Cross over the middle, complete at the 12-yard line.
What a catch.
Lachey McMillan. McMillan slow to get up, but he will hobble off. They'll stop the clock with 40 seconds remaining. Watch this pass. 29 yards to Lachey
taking the
McMillan.
timeout, Tim.
And now they will take their timeout with 40 seconds remaining.
And you got to go into the end zone with each of your plays this time. You cannot run it.
So neither team, watch this hit on McMillan. He held on to it. What a play by Lachey McMillan.
Whoa.
Now, I'm telling you something. That was a major league hit. You were up in the air, extended like that, and to hold on to that ball. And this is not one of the premier receivers on any of these teams, but he is after that catch.
Well, he may be now, and he's just a junior. He's only 140, Tim, 5'7", but he really went up in the air to get that ball.
Well, he plays a lot of defense, and if you recall him a few moments ago, they had him on the halfback option throwing the ball.
Well, that means he can throw it and run down and catch it.
Which is not an easy task if you're doing it on the same play. All right, first down at the 12. Touchdown is what they have to have. Incomplete, intended for Hairston. That took 4 seconds off the clock.
Well, I see what he's doing. He didn't go to the end zone, but he went on an out.
You don't have to go to the end zone, but you've got to get out of bounds. Well,
right.
You don't even have to. You got 36 seconds, but you sure don't want to stay in bounds if you can help it.
Well, if they don't get out of bounds, Tim, I think they're going to lose about 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah,
and that's very important.
No question. Second down at the 12. They can get a first down without scoring. Cross. Throws incomplete. That was intended for Kelvin Irving, a junior.
Got to go to the end zone.
31 seconds. Well, you got the whole near sides of the field here. You've got the.
Well, right-handed, and he's rolling out to the right.
just 1 of 10 for 8 yards passing for Matt Cross.
Oh, no, it's got to be more than 8 yards. He just completed a real long one.
2.
It's got to be more than 8 yards.
Well, he's got 2 now. 2 for, no, not 2 for 10. He completed the long pass early. We'll get it. That's not important right now. What's important is the clock is moving 23, 22, and it is fourth down. It's 4th down, and you have no timeouts remaining. You have to go at least to the 2-yard line. This could be the final play, and it's knocked away. Schuler, incomplete pass. The Crabbers take over on downs. And there you see a happy Mike Smith and his coaching staff as the Crabbers dodge a huge bullet. All they have to do is take a knee, and this game is over.
And we will pick the players of the game.
And they are, for the Hampton Crabbers, number 23, Anthony Williams, who made some huge catches. And on the other side of the ball, Jared Mayo from Kecoughtan.
Number 10.
Number 10. Backus on the night, 25 carries, 98 yards.
Boy, he was contender, wasn't he?
He was a contender. He was absolutely everything for them tonight, and it's never an easy choice to pick one player from each squad, especially in a game like this. But the Warriors unable to come up with the big play on the final 4th down, and they have to be extremely disheartened as their unblemished record has a blemish on it. A hard-fought game between two never-quit teams as the Crabbers and the Warriors gave it everything they had, and the Crabbers end up winning.
Well, you're right about that. This was a game that could have gone either way. Some penalties hurt the Warriors in the second half, but I tell you, neither one of the teams quit. Went right down to the wire, and I'm surprised that the Warriors didn't go to the end zone on their passes, but again, I'm sitting up here, and they're trying to get a little bit closer, and I can understand that.
And tonight's game has been brought to you by Zooms, your friendly neighborhood store, by Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard, by Pearls, located at 15 North Mallory in Phoebus, in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, and in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, Hampton Center Parkway and Armstead Avenue in Hampton. Well, the final score here from Darling Stadium as the now once beaten Kecoughtan Warriors on the wrong end of a 7-3 victory by the Hampton Crabbers in a game Hampton had to have. They win it on a late touchdown by the final score of 7-3. For Bob Hintz and Mike, the man, Hauser. This is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
This game will be televised